A very good day to all of us. I'm James Marvin Amasai, and the study that is assigned to me to analyze is the Philippine English modules during COVID-19 pandemic, its gender sensitivity and responsiveness. So first is the definition of terms, and number one, the gender bias. So gender bias is when people treated differently, have different expectations, or given different chances because of their gender. Next is the marginalized. So pushing a group or individual to the periphery of society and denying them access to opportunities, resources, and decision-making authority is known as marginalization. Okay, next. Self-learning modules, or the SLMs. Those are the instructional resources made for self-directed learning that let students study without close teacher monitoring at their own speed. So it is commonly used on the pandemic by the modular learning system. And next is the stereotyping. It is the practice of giving a group of people fixed, simplistic, and frequently exaggerated traits. Stereotypes can affect how people view and relate to others by causing biases and misconceptions. So we now have the objective of the study. So number one is to examine how the characters are distributed and instances of gender bias in SLMs. Next is to recognize and classify various gender biases such as gender stereotyping in both text and visuals. Also to determine the degree of underrepresentation of women in the modules relative to men. Next is to analyze gender prejudice affects education and promote gender-responsive learning. And lastly, to make suggestions for updating educational regulations to support gender equality in Philippine classrooms. So we now have the important findings. So here is the gender distribution of male and female in DepEd Secondary English SLMs among pictures. So male characters predominate female characters in both text and graphics of the DepEd Secondary English learning modules. So according to the study, 45% of the 375 characters were female and 54% were male. In similar vein, men were more represented in educational activities, 53.26% than women, 46.74%. So meaning to say that male characters dominated the graphics and also the text in the modules of the Philippine secondary learning modules. So by that, we can state that the contexts are not equal and more favorable to men. Next is male characters were most prevalent in grade 9 modules, which frequently showed men in variety of academic contexts, including reading, writing, studying, and speaking. This disparity is consistent with earlier studies showing that greater number of male characters in instructional materials could reflect perpetuate sexist views. The results point to gender bias in the SLMs and point to the need for greater equitable representation in learning materials. Meaning to say, it can perpetuate sexist views and can result into different prejudice against women. Next part is the gender gender distribution of male and female in DepEd English SLMs along text. So here are the text and the DepEd Secondary English learning modules. Textual material showed notable gender discrepancy. According to the study, only 29.1% of the 616 characters were female, or 179, compared to the 70% 0.9 male characters for 137. So it is very particular in the story of Daedalus and Icarus, where the male to female ratio was startling 210-20. This discrepancy was most noticeable in grade 10 modules. So given to this context, it is so big that 70% are male characters in the text modules. And by that, we can state that it is really evident that the modules are very gender biased to men. And next is the modules in grade 8, like Knowing Africa's Local Culture, also demonstrated a male preponderance. Example included a Nobel Prize in Literature section with a 3:1 male to female ratio, discussion of Black Panther, which heavily features male characters. So the Black Panther is a story in Africa that functions or heavily rely on the features of the male characters. Next is the manifestation of gender bias in occupational roles in DepEd English and SLMs. According to the study, gender stereotyping, marginalization, and subordination were the most common forms of gender bias in DepEd secondary English self-learning modules. On the 121 cases of gender prejudice in the work, 68% were in written text and 32% were were visual. So we can state that it is so evident that the gender prejudice and biases are evident, and somehow the book can promote gender stereotyping, marginalization, gender biases, and prejudice. And next is the highest prevalence was found in gender stereotyping, 41.2% in images and 59.76% in text, which perpetuates traditional roles in which males are portrayed as financial managers and breadwinners. So women experience more marginalization as seen by their underrepresentation in high-status professions like senator, novelist, inventor, and police officer. This is consistent with earlier studies showing how women are not represented in instructional materials. So, the women experience lack of representation in instructional materials in Philippine education system, especially in the modules. And the study overall findings demonstrate how textbooks perpetuate gender bias ideas, which may have an impact on student conceptions of gender roles. Promoting gender equality in education requires addressing these biases. So I think that we should highly promote the understanding of the gender biases and how to prevent it, and also to have some serious matters in promoting gender equality that we should be starting in the Philippine modules. So these are the input for future studies. First is the Philippine English modules in a post-COVID-19 pandemic, its gender sensitivity and responsiveness. So since this study is all about during pandemic, I want to suggest a study that is post-pandemic. So on how we can find a solution to gender biases by understanding gender sensitivity and responsiveness. Next is to bias to balance, strategies for improving gender sensitivity in the English curriculum of the Philippines. So first is the topic about gender biases, and now I would like to study the balance, strategies for improving gender sensitivity in the English curriculum of the Philippines. Next, a comparative analysis of gender representation in Philippine educational texts before and after COVID-19. So, I would like to compare and analyze the gender representation before and after COVID-19 if there was a discrepancy or differences. And next is resolving gender bias in Philippine English learning materials through post-pandemic curriculum reform. So by a reform, we can suggest another strategies to end and resolve the gender bias in the Philippines as per experience from the during pandemic. That will be all. Thank you.